Hey, what's up guys? Tony here from Boosted Aspirations. We are at the dyno shop. You can see that up there. We're going to be doing a dyno pole in my car, actually 3 dyno poles in my car, as sort of a prep for the big turbo. So we're going to be installing that tomorrow. So what we're going to do today is get some numbers that we're working with. So this weekend didn't go at all like we had planned. It's kind of an understatement. So as you guys saw in the video, we did run the dyno. We went to the dyno shop in El Cajon, and the horsepower we pulled was 260 horsepower and 344 foot-pounds of torque. And it was on an E30 tune. And so what I found out is my expectations were a little higher. I was hoping around 270, 280 horsepower range. So coming back at 260, actually a couple of poles were like 255, 258, and then 260 was the best pole that we had. So I talked to Brian, and Brian from JST said that he's like, those are pretty average numbers for 91 tune. I was like, well, I'm E30, and he goes, oh, yeah, that's a little low. So some of the factors he told me about were the DynoJet settings that they could have there. The other was going to be the weather. It was warmer, or has been warmer. Obviously, here we are in late July. And the other thing is that well, my tune is a pretty conservative tune. I don't really have anything, cutting edge. I just want something safe, more power but safe. So that's kind of the other 3 factors involved in why the horsepower numbers are lower than I expected. So I think I've got some definite room to grow. However, things got pretty interesting after the dyno day, because what happened is my car started throwing codes. So I had 5 codes pop up. 2 were for camshaft position actuator circuits being open. So one was the intake cam position actuator. The other one was the exhaust cam position actuator. I had 2 exhaust heater codes come up, and the last one was the evap purge circuit. And so right now what we're thinking, talking with O'Brien and talking with Brian from JST, what we're thinking is that the O2 sensors were burned out. Now I think what happened, what we're guessing what happened, because we haven't had a chance to actually get in there and look just yet, is that 1 or 2 things happened. Either they burned out from the heat, they weren't plugged in, or I guess 3 things. So they weren't burned out from the heat of the poles, because he did 3 consecutive poles, like boom, 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 as you saw in the video. Brian told me his standard procedure is to do probably a 1 to 2 minute cool down between poles. So burned out O2 sensors. The other one would be that they're not plugged in, or they came undone during the dyno. But both of them kind of, it's a little far-fetched. And the third one is that I've had people, I posted on the San Diego ST forum, and basically I've had some people sort of comment saying, hey, you know what, I had a similar situation happen. I put a downpipe in, I plugged everything in, and the wires touched the downpipe and it burned out the oxygen sensor. So that's kind of the route that I think I'm leaning right now, as I think that's kind of the case. But either way right now, I think all my problems are going to be associated with the oxygen sensors. So because of that, we did not do the install as we had planned today. I know we had this epic video that we posted last week. It was just like, it's coming on Sunday. And it did not come because we've got a car with oxygen sensor issues. So my day yesterday went like this. Did the dyno day, filled up with a fresh tank of E30 and E30 mix. Super excited. Middle of the day, I started throwing codes, and I thought that they were going to be shutter system codes. They weren't. They were the 5 codes that I listed. I cleared them. They kept coming back. So I knew it was a persistent issue, and then things kept getting worse from there. Eventually, my car fell into limp mode, and then eventually the O2 sensors stopped sending data to my access port. So my access port started reading just 14.7, and I didn't even know the car was in limp mode at first because it wouldn't go above 3,000 RPMs. I was just barely cruising, and I really didn't want to put any foot into the throttle because I don't want to detonate anything. And so while I was driving home or limping home, I called O'Brien and I was like, hey dude, this is what's going on. This is really crazy. I don't know what's going on. And I'm just trying to make it back home, and I don't really have time to look any of this stuff up. So he helped me out big time. He researched as much as he could. I pulled off the side of the road, reset the codes, reset the cam. We did a new system learning reset as well, switched to tunes, and waited about 15-20 minutes. And nothing helped. So it was like, for sure, we've got a legit problem. It's not a tune issue. It's not a software issue. There's something mechanically wrong with the car. And so sent some messages to Brian, sent some pictures, sent him basically all the information I needed to get to him, for him to be like, yeah, this is the kind of problem I've seen. So he gave me the, for sure, I'm 100% sure it's going to be an oxygen sensor issue. Either it's burned out or it's disconnected somehow. So right now where we stand is I need to order 2 new oxygen sensors. Hopefully it's just a matter of them, we've got to plug in the existing oxygen sensors for them to work again. But like I said, I think what happened is, what's happened to some other people is the wires probably touched the downpipe and burned it out. So, which is weird because I mean, I've run with this catless downpipe for a long time now, and I never had any issues. So it's just kind of strange that this is coming up. But I think it could have just been an issue of having those 3 poles, like one right after the other, and I just think that that's just, I don't know, I think that was it. I think that's kind of the cause of it. So unfortunately, yeah, so like I said, the big turbo install was postponed. We're going to hopefully address the oxygen sensor issue next weekend, hopefully maybe install next weekend. If not next weekend, then probably the following weekend. If not, then sometime in August, hopefully. So it's an unfortunate setback, but we're erring on the side of caution. Obviously, we're not going to put a big turbo on a car that's having 2 downed oxygen sensors. You know, the last thing I'm going to do is limp home with a big turbo and possibly really blow up. So that's kind of where we're at right now, unfortunately, but we'll definitely keep you updated as we go. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll definitely see you guys in our next video. Finger guns for O'Brien since he's not here.